Hello and welcome to Trends with LJE, your daily breakdown of developments shaping the national conversation. I am Maimuna Ahoize-Zubair, and today, alongside our esteemed panel, we'll delve into several pressing topics making headlines. But first, a quick intro. You already know Chidi Iloameke, our resident public affairs analyst. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, right beside him there is Dr. Uchihara Ikechukwu Chris. He's a media practitioner par excellence. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's dive right in. First on our docket is President Tinubu being off to France again, and Vice President Shettima in Senegal. Both of our leaders are on diplomatic and economic engagements. This has also sparked fresh concerns about governance continuity and the impact of constant travel at the highest levels of office. So, in the absence of the shepherd, who tends to the sheep? And quick question to you both. At what point do these trips serve, more optics than outcome? What are your thoughts, Dr. Chris?
Thank you very much. You can see that is one of those things we keep talking about, our leaders. If you can enumerate very well since President Tinubu assumed office, he has been on foreign trip uncountable. And in the same vein with his deputy, both of them, you can imagine we are two leaders, first and second person of the nation, living the same time.
Yeah.
Who is going to take care of the country? The president left to France. Now the vice president left to Senegal. I want to ask, of what importance is this their travel to the masses? Who has this travel benefited? Is he why they are there? People travel to bring in investors into the country. All we hear is our president is out, he's in. Check the amount spent on these constant travels. It amounts to nothing. No person, nothing has come in as a result of this travel. Now the deputy vice president left again to Senegal, just for birthday. I think last week, yes, or thereabout, our president celebrated his own birthday. I didn't see even the list of all the African countries, neither European presidents coming to great occasions.
Exactly.
No person came. This just Senegal. Yes, they are our brothers. What do we stand to gain from that travel?
Especially as the president has also made a trip.
Exactly. So,
although when you talk about what is the benefit of this trip, apparently he will be using these retreats to embark or engage in some economic discussions with France. Apparently there are some economic strides that will be reinforced via this conversation that he'll be having. It's reported to be a short trip, and by short they mean 2 weeks, and that he will be appraising administration's midterm performances and assessing key milestones. Though why in France? I'm not...
Maimuna, please, I beg to differ in this area a bit. Yes, go and statistically go and count how many times President Tinubu has left this country in the name of France, to be more precise, uncountable times. This just take our own family of today, where the father of the house lives for 2 weeks. What happens to the children?
Absolutely.
It's assumed nothing is happening there. The head is off. That means every other person in the family stands to do whatever he wants. Now there is no deputy. The vice president left. So the country is empty for 2 weeks. That is what it means.
Well, Vice President Shettima might be back earlier than that. It's just Senegal. I will come to you, Chidi. When there are domestic issues that remain unresolved, I feel like it is counterintuitive or counterproductive to be going to France to embark on an appraisal of the administration so far. This is my own thought. I'd like to hear you.
Well, somebody whose house is on fire does not go chasing rats. That's exactly what Tinubu is telling us, that the government of his administration do not even care about the people. They don't even care about. Yesterday, Plateau State, there were killings, and in several parts of the country, at least over 40 persons were killed just yesterday and more. Look at the report. Look at the gory pictures online. These are not pictures we can show you here. And then you ask yourself, what about the president? What has he done? What has he said?
No statement.
He should sit down and stop globe-trotting. Eventually, what happens is that he will keep quiet. You will not hear him condemn these attacks. And that is selective. This is Plateau State. And something else, you begin to understand that somebody was telling me, told me and said, look, it's like Tinubu is vying for the office of the mayor of Paris. Perhaps that's why he's going there, So it tells you a lot that, and do you know what happens? It is obvious that we never have a president. He's not even functional by implication, because if Nigeria was functional and not on autopilot, because we're already on autopilot, an administration that is serious will not even allow a lacuna in look at other very serious countries of the world. United States, how many times has US president even traveled? During the World Economic Forum, you understand, we had a president I'm talking about President Donald Trump, as the powerful nation on earth. How many travels has he done? He was on virtual, online. He addressed the world during the World Economic Forum online. And that's significant. So you don't even have this, and they come to tell us that it is everywhere, it happens everywhere, go over the world and share what. The ones he has traveled, this is like 29 times or more, and has traveled. What are the benefits? So we need to, and now if you check the travel cost, it's estimated to cost about over 12 billion naira. Their trips. And you ask yourself, if that money was injected into the Nigeria economy, into those who are begging on the streets, the Almajiris, if that money was actually injected into ensuring that those who died out of their carelessness, the carelessness of this administration, are well compensated, it would have made a lot of sense.
Absolutely. Moving on now to Kogi Central, where the move to recall Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has just hit a wall. INEC has halted the process, stating that the petition failed to meet the constitutional threshold, meaning less than 50% of the registered voters signed. That's a huge procedural miss. What are the ramifications? It raises, certain questions regarding, the seriousness of and legitimacy of the recall push in the first place. I would like to hear thoughts from you, Chidi, first of all, and then Dr. Chris.
Okay, first, the Kogi people, well, if you look at it very critically, with all the evidence on the ground, it is the people, the voice of the people, because their voices are heard loud and clear. It's the voice of the people triumphing over irregularity. It's the voice of the people, but it shouldn't happen. INEC knows, if they search very well, that this whole process it doesn't even sell their image in good light, because the people, those signatures were forged. This is what is there in public domain.
But that's been alleged. We don't have any.
It's alleged, but it's alleged because there are videos where we saw people signing those, from those in their constituencies, and they're also in the press. It's also in the press, in the public domain, yes, in the mainstream press, that the constituents, the so-called constituents that initiated this recall are saying, come and verify those signatures. Maybe we are there. We're waiting for those that will come and verify. And, and you saw the whole trying to paint Natasha in a bad light and saying she will cause mayhem if she comes into and then the blockade and everything. So INEC's image is really in the mud. We believe it is the people now speaking up, because right now, if the people do not speak up, they will die for it. If the people do not speak up, they will go down for it. They will be. Right now they are lacking constitutional representation in the Federal Assembly. So it's important that we know that INEC should also not go back and then come back and tell us, okay, because initially there was a suspension of this process, and later it was resumed.
Yeah.
You understand now? So please, this is very critical. It's a moment where Nigerians, it's a win for local voices. And it means that if Nigerians can come together, just like the constituents of Natasha came together to voice their frustration, and they're ready to go all out to combat this ill in our electoral process, then fine, because it's not about electoral reforms. I say it and say it all over again. Even if you bring out, you have the electoral reforms done, and you manage everything, INEC will still tell you that mid-air, just like monkey swallowed money here, and then an IREV, when it was presidential election, when goalpost was shifted, they will tell you mid-air that something happened.
Right. Dr. Chris, what does this mean politically for Natasha and for future recall attempts across the country, considering there was, grumbles of recall for Senator Imaso in Edo South constituency too?
Okay, first of all, I want to commend INEC. I want to commend the people as well. And, in democracy, the power belongs to the people, not to the leaders. The people really, in the issue of Natasha recall, the people really exercise their democratic power by showing the world that, yes, she is representing us, and we are behind her. So then on the side of INEC, I want to commend them in this area, particularly this time. They tried and they worked according to the tenets of the Constitution by looking into what the Constitution says. If every other agents of federal government can absorb, take a leaf from what INEC just did, I think we won't be having problem.
No, INEC, the commendation is to the people, not to INEC. INEC is scared that there will be mayhem, and perhaps those concerns.
No, their only issue was that it would even be an expensive process. They mentioned that. I think I saw a news article where they did talk about.
And Nigeria don't have the money to fund if it was expensive.
Cost money to do. I think they see that it's a bit frivolous.
It's not about.
No, I think beautiful. They see that it's frivolous. These are my thoughts. I think that INEC has.
I say that the power of the people spoke, and it
was too loud for them to ignore.
To hide it.
Now,
that prepares us. Sorry, very quickly. That prepares us for 2027 elections, because if the people can unite, like those in Natasha's constituent, like those in Kogi Central, if people can unite, this country will be salvaged. The vultures that bite hard on this country, that is eating the carcasses of this country, will run away when they see the unity of the people. And that is what we call for. So it's a home-take assignment. It's a lesson, a very strong one. Because it's easier to just go press. Yesterday,
yes,
there was the first.
You can't rule out the performance and existence and action of INEC in this regard. In this country, so many agents of the government have seen what they're supposed to do. Their statutory obligation.
I think we should give credit where credit is due, in my opinion. And moving quickly along, because we still have so much to talk about. Yeah. In Edo State, speaking of Edo State, the Governorship Election Petition Tribunal was upheld the APC's win and dismissed the PDP's petition led by Ighodalo. The party, alongside the candidates, rejected the verdict, and basically they're not taking it lightly. They are accusing the judiciary of bias and are planning to head to the appellate court. Is this another legal marathon incoming, just like, which state was that? Just like even reverse states, I think. Does this signal a deeper fracture within the political class in Edo State? What are your thoughts? I'll start with you, Dr. Chris.
I want to say in that area that if I am the legal advisor of PDP in Edo State, I will advise them not to waste their useful time, because, as you can see, Edo State has come to be, and it has come to be an APC state. So going by the pronouncement of the court, the tribunal, concerning the outcome of the verdict, they based it on the technicalities and the presentations of the legal team of PDP, that it was not, they couldn't present their case very well and they couldn't substantiate some of their claims. Looking at this is something that played out in Imo State. It has played out in so many places, but because this is APC in power in Edo State, my advice to PDP Edo State is they should wait for another time. And for this time, they can't get anything anything meaningful out of any legal fight they want to engage on in that area. So my advice is they should let this one go and let there be governance. The time for election has come. The time for governance is now. Let the people enjoy the dividend of democracy in the district. Thank you.
There's no democracy here. There's nothing to enjoy, because if you see what is happening in Edo, it's like a rubber stamp. Even the man himself, the governor of Edo State, I think it's Monday, Governor Monday, you see that sometimes he's not even articulate himself.
But that's not, that does not,
it's not about,
the will of the people.
It's not just about not being articulate alone, but it tells you, people say, and you can, it goes as if it goes about trying to please persons, but he's not so authoritative. But that's by the way. But the most important thing is to look at what is the outcome of this whole process. What does it say to the people? What does it say to our electoral process? And if you're saying that, like my colleague here just not rightly said, but opined that PDP should just go out. No, you're not asking them to go and sleep. They won't go and sleep. They should not, because you're testing the electoral process. And you can't tell us that beavers, IREVs were not working. You can't tell us, and then you say we should test our electoral process.
Yeah,
and let me tell you,
why didn't PDP present?
They didn't present,
substantiated
evidence.
That is the statement of the judge. Right. It is not about what never happened.
So you're saying
we know the judiciary. You know what's happened with the judiciary in the country. So, but there's a bias in this. So let's make progress with this, and also to understand that, please, on this Edo election, if we don't get it right in this election, the hopes of the masses for electoral reform
I beg to differ. That sorry, please, a minute. What Wewole is doing, is it for the people or for himself? Are you telling me that the so-called Nigerian politician, they have changed, they are now for the people, not for themselves? Are you telling me that the legal fight that PDP may want to engage in is for the people?
No, I'm telling you that.
It's a very
I'm telling you it's a question, and I'm giving you the answer. What I'm saying is that they should follow the fight. Now is in the appeal court. They should follow the fight to the last, because the people will get to benefit if at the end of the day there is fairness in the hearing and the whole process is fair. The people benefit it, because it's about our electoral process.
Okay, we're going to
it's about our electoral process.
Quick breaks to come from fuel price hikes to trade tariffs. We'll tackle trending economic issues in a short while. Stay with us.
Have you opened your eyes to realize how beautiful it is? And maybe you could just let go for a second and come to the realization that we're all just trying to figure out the same thing.
Butterflies, the pretty things that greet my eyes when you call.
Hello, good afternoon, great people of Abuja. Welcome to Marble Apartment, the premium apartment in Abuja. We have the 2-bedroom apartment that's fully furnished with the kitchen and the sitting room. We also have the 1-bedroom apartment that's also fully furnished, and we have the studio apartment that's fully furnished. Marble Apartment is located at number 5 Awande Close, Use 2 precisely, and it's just about 3 minutes drive away from the Use Market, and also it's just a stone throw from the New Health Pharmacy. We also have our bakery just directly opposite the Mabu apartment, and where you have access to pastries, bread, and juices, freshly made juices also. Also in Mabu apartment, you have 100% guaranteed of safety, and also we have our 24 hours uninterrupted power supply, and we have the armed policeman that is always on ground to make sure that everyone is secured also. In Mabu apartment, you have access to 24 hours Wi-Fi internet connection. You can reach out to us on the numbers that are displayed on the screen, reach out to us on our WhatsApp, on our Instagram handles, and on our website. Thank you for booking a room today.
Welcome back. The show is still Trends with LJE. Gentlemen, I have to say that we only have a very short time. So this segment is going to be very rapid fire. Straight to fuel prices. Petrol is now selling at 925 naira per litre in Lagos, and even higher in Abuja at 950 naira, just days after the appointment of Engineer Bayo Ojulari as NNPCL's new CEO. Is this a coincidence, or is this coordinated? Let's unpack this. Dr. Chris, what triggered the hike? And do you think that Ojulari is already setting a new tone at the NNPC?
Yes, thank you. You see, this is an issue that has to do with all of us when it comes to fuel and the economy of this country. So going straight to what you just said, the new CEO of NNPC, he has just come, and he mustn't start exactly from where his predecessor stopped.
Yes.
So he has to set a new format, level for himself, so as to do his work very well. So I'm only looking at the economic impact of this fuel hike. That means life will be hard for people in the north than those people in the south, precisely Lagos. And we go to the same market. We strive in the same economic environment. So what happens to people in the north? You can see this decision is quite discriminatory, if I am to say. So, but let's watch him and see what happens. He just entered, so we expected such a thing to happen. But I believe, being somebody who is an expert in what he does, he's going to do something, and Nigerians will have a relief out of that.
Actually, some filling stations have even increased up to 1,000 naira in Lagos. Parts of Ikotu, you go there and then you find that the fuel price is 1,000 naira. So at this point, we're even having arbitrary prices.
This, his closing remark that says, we hope this is he's just starting. Remember the last time I spoke on this play?
Yeah, episode.
The last episode. What did I say? I said, this is a board that is already commissioned to fail. To fail Nigerians. That's the context I was coming from. The first time you took office, let's go back. Tinubu said subsidy gone. It was easier for him to say subsidy gone than to tackle Nigerians' problem post-subsidy. And immediately he appointed the man he appointed, the Ojulari, right?
Yes.
The first task was what? Was to increase fuel price.
It wasn't explicitly stated that he should increase fuel price.
I'm saying the first task, the first action he took was to increase fuel price. Now, at the end of the day, you come to realize that this government is a government that have the people. They don't care about the people. NNPC, don't forget that our petroleum minister is who? Is President Tinubu.
Yeah.
And Lokobiri Heineken is your Minister of State for Petroleum. And listen, it is a starting point, the first sign of development, of growth, of change in any administration, in any policy, is immediately when that person takes over, the first thing he does gives you an idea of the direction.
Let's be very fair to this guy.
To be honest.
Let's be very fair to this guy.
This guy, that's what I was trying to say.
He just came in.
We can, I mean, I don't know if we should immediately launch into criticism.
Can I tell you something? Can I say something?
We
We
can
should
just watch.
we cannot
It's been
watch
24
because
hours.
the only person that watches now are those at the top. They are watching. They're not buying fuel the same amount I and you buy fuel. Unless there's a place you buy petroleum, you tell me. Then I will go and buy petroleum cheaper and start watching.
Be fair.
But
Be
the
fair
truth
to
is,
Jare.
let us
Let's be fair to
excuse me.
Jare.
The
He
truth,
just entered.
the truth is, you
know,
cannot tell me Tinubu just entered. I'm talking about Tinubu when he entered, and he said subsidy to gone. Do you now say, let us wait? People said, let's wait. And we all agreed. We waited. And today, 2 years down the line.
We can accord him the same.
2 years down the
Can we
line,
not-
it is
let's
worse.
accord him
It is
the same?
worse.
Yes,
It is
the
worse.
Same courtesy.
If he now
It is
fails,
worse.
No, he
It is
won't
worse.
fail.
This is
He'll
exactly
fail.
the rhetoric.
Let's be
Yes,
optimistic.
This is exactly the
Let's be
rhetoric. This is the
optimistic.
rhetorics that they tell us.
Okay,
You understand?
next
So
topic.
it needs to be people-centered, but it's not.
U.S. President Donald Trump has rolled out new reciprocal tariffs targeting countries he says benefit unfairly from trade with the U.S. And Nigeria made the list at a whopping 27%, discounted down to 14%. Now, here's the kicker. Nigeria's tariffs are higher than a lot of African countries, probably because we export crude to the U.S. while importing relatively less. This could hurt Nigeria's oil-dependent economy. Do we think so? And even further complicate already shaky trade ties with the U.S. How does Nigeria reposition in this scenario? I think I'll start with you. Realize that we have very short time.
Yeah.
And then I will be asking you, Dr. Chris, can local production and African trade blocs step up as buffers? You first.
Okay, very quickly, I want to say something very clear. President Donald Trump of the United States of America is doing Nigeria a favor.
How do you figure?
Beautiful. Now, first of all, when you talk about the tariff, there are two kinds of tariffs. I mean, the first is the baseline tariff, which is 10% for every country all over the world.
Right.
Right? And of course, exemptions were stated. Now, the second one is what? Is the reciprocal tariff. So what you see online, this blue, white, and blue, from the president himself, is reciprocal tariff. So baseline tariff is what every country does. Do you understand that they have tariffs that countries now for the reciprocal tariff is saying that we're going to give you the same tariff you gave to us. For example, now Nigeria's tariff to the United States is, stands at 27%.
Right.
And 27% they did divide by 2, and they got that 14%. So total tariff, baseline 10%, and reciprocal tariff is what? 14%. Total of how many percent? 24%.
That's a bit high, don't you think?
Now, look at it.
Considering the fact that we do not enjoy the same in terms of what we import or what we import.
What is the
from
idea
them.
of tariff? First of all, that's what we're going to ask.
We are the ones that will feel the
idea
brunt
of tariff.
it.
Let me
you
tell
know
you
that, right?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what the idea of tariff is. Every country, including Nigeria, charges tariff. Don't get it twisted.
Absolutely.
We charge tariff. Now, tariff is just like saying percentage of a goods that enters the US. And the consumer of US will pay, and the percentage will go to the purse of the US government, just like in Nigeria too. So what President Trump is doing is to protect their market. That there's been unfair trade relations with Nigeria. What does Nigeria need to do? It's simple. It's not about what Trump
should
does.
Impose our own tariffs.
What we should do, no, our tariff is already high, as high as even higher than the US, including trade deficits and manipulation of currency. Those are and then they did divide by 2. So what we should do is, first, the government needs to prioritize diversification, to diversify our economy. Now, this is what tariff does. Because our country is 80% or more dependent on crude oil. When we sell this crude oil abroad, right, and it gets to the market, so what happens is the consumer says, okay, instead of buying 1,000 for this crude, after buying 1,000, there's 24% increment, which is 240 naira.
We're very
on it.
mathematical.
Mathematical.
Now. I don't think our audience is.
Now, okay.
will understand the
Fine.
math.
But the most important thing, okay, let me just make it easier. The most important thing is that we need to diversify so that if there is a low demand on crude, they will be in agric. They will be in other sectors. For instance, in the mining industry, what is happening to our gold? Nobody's bringing to the national table, to the table. We need to talk about that. We need to talk about issues of iron ore. We need to talk about even.
I would like to hear.
So these are areas. So
Yes,
it's broad.
Reminding you of just your question to me, what can we do to
Very quickly.
cushion the effect of Trump's tariff? Then let me just tell you that Trump, upon assumption of office, told us it's America first, and nothing but America first. So I expect our leaders, I expect the country of the leaders of our country,
Their pockets
the government,
first. Our leaders' pockets first, not the people first.
To come up with economic plans that will cushion the effect of the tariff.
Right.
What can we do? Inaugurate technocrats, people who knows what it takes, who knows the onions in the economy of any nation. Bring in your best heads, best hands, so that they can come in, because nothing will make Trump to stop what he is doing. It is America first, America first. Then it is left for us to say Nigeria first. Diversify.
Absolutely.
Just like you said, come in with economic plans that will cushion the effect of this tariff.
In addition to
No more additions.
Okay.
No more additions.
Okay.
We're moving on to the next topic, final topic. We've had such a very spirited conversation today. I feel like you people are at loggerheads, but I think we can come to an agreement, because the next topic is a moment to celebrate progress. Now, the Leadership Hub for Justice and Economic Advancement, LJE, which is our parent organization, is launching its Asaba office today. Now, as we know, and probably our audience don't know, they provide legal and advocacy services to shaping the national policy conversation, from economy, leadership, and what have you. LJE is slowly but surely becoming a trusted name across Nigeria. We celebrate Barrister Samuel Meme, the organization's president, and encourage you, our viewers, to follow LJE's work. It's truly pivotal and truly impressive. So you only have like 10 seconds to say good things.
Can you permit me to clap? So bravo to LJE. In our local parlance, they say, if you don't tell people where you dey, people will not know where you are. So today is an opportunity for LJE to tell the world that this is where it is. This is what it stands for. This is the vision, this is the mission. And this is what it stands to do for our country, Nigeria, and humanity. So we say, may God sustain LJE for humanity. May God progress LJE, and may LJE and all about it live long. Thank you.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, amen. So LJE, is one of those few organizations that you want to associate with.
Absolutely.
That is doing something very phenomenal in the nation, particularly in areas of the leadership training, leadership, and then the area of course, justice. LJE fight for your rights. Just go out there. You have any issues, go out there, go to LJE website, and you get lawyers who are ready on standby to fight for your rights. And of course, it's here to ensure that there's economic advancement. In other words, even what we're talking about, the trade deficits, the trade barriers, the economic plan of Trump, and the need for Nigeria government to look inward and be more productive. LJE gives you that platform. And this is one of the this is the platform of LJE too. And one of the platform LJE is also saying that Nigeria can be better.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it will be better. Thank you.
And so, like I said, you can follow LJE's work. Apart from Trends with LJE, there are other programs like Leadership Dialogue, Lawyers Hangout, and Justice. So many more for you to access. And to learn more, you can visit the website showing on your screen and connect on all social media platforms. That's the much I have for you today. It's a wrap on today's episode. What are your plans for the weekend?
As for me,
Loki.
I will sleep.
I think it's universal. I'm going to be right.
No, I'm not going to sleep. Oh,
Oh, really?
yeah, I'm not going to sleep. Just sleep. Of course, I'm going to sleep. Don't mind. But then basically, I'll watch.
don't
I'll
have to
tune.
sleep now.
I'll tune into to my Premier League channel.
Oh, right.
And
Okay, so it
and
started.
watch.
I don't know
I
anything
watch my
about
team
that.
defeat.
Please let's keep this conversation
Opponents.
going online. Follow us, share your thoughts, and catch us same time, same place next Monday. I am Imuna Ahoiza Zubair. Until I come your way again next week, stay sharp, stay woke, and have a great weekend.
Bye.